Join our knowledgeable hosts as they dive into the captivating universe of comic books, movies, TV shows, and pop culture. Get ready for vibrant discussions and a shared enthusiasm for all things superhero and beyond. A comic podcast straight from the panels. This is Beyond the Capes.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Cape podcast. With us today for a first, we have the cosplayer. You might have seen her on Instagram, Shakier Fawn. Taylor, as you can see on the screen if you're watching this, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. We've always wanted to. Obviously, myself and I'm assuming all of our listeners, we've all been to a Comic-Con. We all admire the cosplay. I know, obviously, before we jumped on this show, I always like to ask people kind of how you jumped into the well. I feel like we all have that, usually that one family member. I hate to say it this way. It's almost like a drug dealer. They give you just a little bit. And then from there, it's just a slippery slope into the fandom.
Right. Actually, that's basically how I started. I mean, we all loved dressing up for Halloween. So that was my humble beginning. But it just came to a point where I didn't want to wait all year to basically dress up as my favorite character. So I first started with closet cosplay,
Yep.
which I didn't even know that's what it was called at first. But just like random things inside my closet. And then I pieced them together to craft a character just because I have it. And it was really fun. So I guess the kid in me never really grew up regarding that. So I just really love dressing up.
Awesome. Now, when you got started, I feel like most people kind of remember that first thing that really stuck to them. For a lot of us, I know for myself, it's Batman the Animated Series. That was huge. That catapulted the whole spiral. I don't know if you have a similar.
Well, I would have to say my first time doing a closet cosplay, which would be Reggie Rocket from Rocket Power, the 90s cartoon. It was like a casual cosplay, just a t-shirt and a green pants, and I colored my hair purple. And I actually went to Times Square, and people were like actually noticing that they recognized the whole ensemble. I'm like, that was a pivotal moment for me. And then I would say that my most memorable and impactful cosplay would be As Death from A Kami Got Killed. It's an anime. That's when I first went to Anime NYC. And I crafted the cosplay along with my friends and family. That was my first time actually spending time crafting it and putting time and money and effort into that. And it was a success. Although I'm not an expert at sewing or being a seamstress, I just did what I could and it worked out. I looked like the character. I used alternative ways to style my hair because at the time I didn't wear wigs. So I used a coloring wax to change my color blue for the character. And it was just a success. It was my first time cosplaying at a con. So I was nervous.
Cool.
I actually thought that not a lot of people would cosplay or they'll just do the minimum thing. But I was I felt underdressed when I got there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's for most people, because I think everyone has that first con experience where you really wonder, because I think a lot of us grew up, or at least for myself, I grew up in the 90s where you just didn't talk about this out loud. It was not something you openly admitted unless you were ready for the ridicule. So when someone says, oh, let's go to a Comic-Con or a con convention, you're like, all right, come on, how many people are really going to show up to this? It's going to be like two tables. And it always, even today, I know for ours in Chicago at C2E2, I think it was 102,000 people there this year.
Wow.
Which that, I mean, it's not San Diego numbers, but for Chicago, that's huge. So it's always, I think, mind blowing for a lot of people to see the community at large and just how big it really is.
Yes, I feel that it's getting even bigger now, um, partially because it's trending. But I just wish that it was like this when I was younger and in school and whatnot. I didn't have to hide. I didn't have to keep that part of my life a secret, because kids are cruel, and they'll make fun of you for anything, so let alone like in comics and cartoons and and dressing up like characters. So
Yeah, no, I think we can all agree that being able to walk into a Walmart now and seeing Spider-Man and Naruto on the shelves is both a triumphant and a little hurt on the inside for what we had to endure. Now, the beauty thing is, and it sounds, I think you could see a lot of examples from your Instagram page in your cosplay. You grab a lot of inspiration from different genres, which I think is better. You will have people that I know will cosplay only like Marvel, or I only do DC, or it's got to be movie accurate, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think there is a lot more to embrace when you kind of pick and choose from all these different mediums, because they are so vastly different, but yet so similar.
yes, I completely agree. Yeah, there are some cosplayers who stick with a certain genre or even a type of character. My inspiration for cosplaying is what I grew up with, and and what I'm being introduced to now. So for my Static Shock cosplay that I did for Brooklyn Comic Con, although I'm not, and I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not too well versed in the DC universe. I did grow up watching Static Shock, and I even I even binge watch it now that it's streaming on HBO Max.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And it just brought back a whole lot of nostalgia for me. So I'm like, wow, I might as well cosplay this character that had a great impact on my childhood. And I just grabbed materials, I crafted, and basically fit to my style. And that's what cosplaying is all about in the end. Cosplaying, like drawing inspiration from a cosplayer, from a character, but making it your own and turning it into your own style.
Yeah. We can forgive, I think, the DC. Not there's still room to read it. There's a lot of, we could talk after the show about that. But the Static Shock is still fantastic costume. I know when you reached out, that was like the first thing seeing you go to the Instagram page. That was an amazing costume. I always love seeing a Static Shock. That's always my favorite. But I think the cosplay thing, as you're talking about, is big, and I am glad to see that it's getting pushed, because I think a lot of people go about thinking, I cannot cosplay this or that, because in the past everyone wanted to do accurate cosplay, which again, it's really cool to see when someone puts like $5,000 into a costume. Yes, it looks fantastic, but no one should feel like I can't be this character, because everyone can be any character. There's not like a set rules for it.
Exactly. I completely feel the same. There are so many obstacles that could prevent one from cosplaying, whether it's money, financially, skills, or just the size. So part of the reason why I hesitated cosplaying in public, one, because I was an adult, and the other was because of my size. I am a plus size cosplayer, so it is hard for me to get over personal obstacles, let alone dress up in cosplay where I'm bringing attention to myself. And That along with the fact that not a lot of ready-made cosplays are in
Yeah,
my size or bigger. So it was hard for me to find exactly like to the T the costume that I wanted to wear. And that's what led me to craft my own. Like, hey, this shop doesn't have my size. Okay, I'll gather materials that are my size that are similar, or at least look like the clothes that the character wears, and just have a go at it. And I think it's thanks to that that I'm somewhat I somewhat know what to do when I want to cosplay. Like I said before, I'm not a professional seamstress or know how to sew, but when it comes to crafting for my body, I'll just get right to it.
definitely. And I think a lot of people feel your pain. I know specifically I want to be Green Arrow one year, and someone said, "Oh, go on this costume website. It's fine. They have the size chart." And I said, "Yeah, let me trust the size chart." I don't know if they
No.
gave me a 5'6". Guess that was someone that's meant for a 5'6" in China. But that I can assure you, Green Arrow cosplay did not happen that year, because that was definitely not going to happen. So I think a lot of people, we definitely understand what it's so nice when you do find a costume that fits perfectly, because it's just when everything like looks, the ensemble is correct, you just feel so good about how it all looks. That being said, though, I think it is great that it pushed you to really hone your skills, and now you have kind of a skill set that works for you in cosplay, but you could also, I don't know if you've taken your skills kind of on the outside too, where like getting fabrics now, you're like, you know what? I've cosplayed a shirt. I've done it. Let me just make a shirt for everyday wear as well. And if you have used those skills outside.
I do actually, that's actually the goal. I want to, instead of like buying skirts and altering it, I do want to eventually make my own skirts and dresses. And that's why going to different events and cons are useful, because they have panels where they host like at least how to start a pattern, a sewing pattern, and basically give you tips and motivate you at the same time.
Yeah, I think the con circuit has done an amazing job of putting on panels just on so many different things, between either putting LED lights. I know Ava Foam has to be like the number one requested uh, thing of all time. And I'm always blown away when I watch the presentation, because I still to this day don't understand how with a heat gun and foam you could craft anything. It's really amazing.
Yeah, I definitely want to give my try at it. Hopefully, yeah, like I said, that is the goal. So hopefully, if not by the end of this year, then next year. But that's just one of the joys of cosplaying. You get to learn all these new tricks and techniques, and like you said, you're honing your skills.
Yeah. So obviously now you've had a pretty good amount of practice. You kind of got an idea of what you're doing. Is there a kind of goal character or dream character that, like right now, you're like, all right, I might save up for a little bit because this is where I want to go?
Right. I guess the goal that I'm kind of hesitant about, which although I am confident of about like cosplaying certain characters, but one character that I am hesitant about cosplaying that is the goal is Jessica Rabbit from Who Shot Roger Rabbit. Only because she has a certain, statuesque figure, and I guess that's something that I have to get over. And plus, her dress is so extravagant. Um, I want a, I want not like a really cheap material, but something that will last as
Yeah.
well as look good. Because her that the opening scene where she introduces herself. She's wearing a nice shiny or sparkly dress, so I can only imagine how expensive that would be, especially in my size. Unless I get it custom made, then that's probably like hundreds of dollars.
Definitely. And I've always wondered that when you go to make a costume, does that always run through your mind? Is this a cosplay I'm going to wear once versus many? Because I know there are cosplayers that do kind of keep kind of that bin, as I've seen almost like Christmas lights, where it's like, this is the costume. And, if I run out of time or I want to unveil one, but then kind of fall back to these two, the rest, is that something that you guys kind of in the cosplay community just kind of build up?
Yes. A lot of people, they do recycle their cosplays, and some cosplayers, they stick to like probably 2 or 3 cosplays where people will recognize them from. Like if someone cosplays Deadpool a lot, like it has a whole promotion, then people will recognize them as, hey, you're the Deadpool cosplayer.
Yeah.
Because they post a lot, they attend events. Me personally, I would like to make it a goal to reuse my cosplays, especially how expensive they are becoming. Uh, and it also depends on like how one would take care of their cosplays.
Yeah.
Like for my As Death cosplay, unfortunately, that is completely I would have to start from scratch basically, because I used the wrong rinse cycle. So uh, the paint and the sewing of the buttons, it just came off completely. So if one would like to reuse a cosplay, it's just a matter of knowing what kind of material that cosplay is made out of, whether it could be dry cleaned or hand washed. You just have to take care of it. And then when we recycle cosplays, uh, there's always a possibility of altering it or improving it. I know I haven't cosplayed her yet. I plan on cosplaying Jigglypuff for Anime NYC, but I already have in my mind of how to do how to improve, well, not improve, but like do a little mix of it.
Yeah.
So for Anime NYC, I'm just going as regular Jigglypuff, and then maybe another event I'll go as a punk version of Jigglypuff and name her Jigglypunk.
That'll be awesome. Well, and it's funny because as you just hit home, I know it's really hard sometimes to go back. If I go back to when I was a kid and I look at how I treated comics, man, I would get slapped.
Oh my goodness.
Which is, I think, how I have to imagine cosplay. Like when you look at like that first cosplay and you have so many of these skills that you developed, it's like, man, if I just did not use the acrylic paint and rush this and I had just done this one little thing, man, this costume could have popped. I gotta imagine that happens more often.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It happens more often than you think. But when it comes to cosplaying, there's a lot of trial and errors, especially with well, me personally, I've had so many trial and errors, and money kind of wasted. Um, Whether it's like me purchasing a certain material online and it doesn't come out the way that I expected. So I'm like, oh, I can't use this for this cosplay. And it's just a whole process, basically.
Yeah. Now, from a cosplay standpoint, and I've always been curious, a Comic-Con is fun. I think anyone that's been to one, it's very fun. But I feel like if you're going for kind of to show off your cosplay and pick up kind of new pieces and tricks, an anime cosplay event seems to be, I think the information seems to be better from what the panelists that I've looked, because I think you do have a lot more cosplay at those events. I don't know if you've noticed that or if that's something you've experienced or.
Well, I feel like it's about the same as New York Comic Con when it comes to cosplaying. Everyone goes there for the to show off their cosplays.
Yeah.
The cosplay community is definitely getting bigger because those who attend, well, I'm assuming because I've heard from those who actually attend and haven't cosplayed, they plan on doing so the next time. And when they actually do, they rock at it.
Definitely. Now, being kind of doing this for a little bit, where would you like to see cosplay go? Because I feel like it's crazy to think of where we came from when I look at, like, again, the old Chicago Comic Con, like the old, like in the basement of a hotel to where we're at now. Just how far. Where do you think cosplay can go from here? Because I feel like it's really advanced.
Right. And I would say thanks to Megan the Stallion and her recent cosplaying adventures, it's getting bigger. I would like to see more people cosplay and encourage those who cosplay. I would like to see more positivity in
Yes.
cosplay as well. Like you mentioned before, it's okay if you're not 100% accurate with your cosplay, like, oh, you're missing a button there or something. But as long as you feel like you're that character and what you're wearing, then that's all that matters. So that's one of the goals that I definitely want to see in cosplay. I feel that everyone should cosplay. I'm a definite advocate, whether you're young, old, no matter what the size. And I hope it gets more recognition within all communities because it only brings us together.
Definitely. And shout out to definitely Megan the Stallion and God, I wish I could remember his name from the Olympics, but that was the best thing ever when he started pulling out Exodia and did the Kamehameha blast after he won I think it was the 400-meter relay.
Oh, good. Oh,
Man, man, I wish I could remember his last name because that was the craziest photo finish I've ever seen in my life. That was amazing, but that has to be the best thing ever, seeing that go mainstream. I definitely think I had to agree that that's really catapulted people taking it serious. That's not just, it's not kid stuff. I mean, it's not like it is everywhere. That was definitely huge.
Yeah, and that's basically setting a tone is another point because like I said, I felt weird trying to dress up growing up. So maybe with cosplaying going mainstream, the next generation won't feel like that.
Yeah.
So we're basically saving them from feeling embarrassed or out of place. Like, it's okay to cosplay.
Definitely. Now, if for some reason you were going to go to a convention and not cosplay, what are the funnest things that like are kind of like your secondary goals besides showing off the cosplay?
Secondary goals. I would say going to panels, just to learn about certain topics. I'll most likely go to a cosplay panel, but if it's something else that's related to, I guess it's called nerd culture, whatever, probably something about music or a show that I'm currently watching, behind the scenes, or a director's cut panel, as well as Artist Alley.
Yes, the best place
Yes.
ever.
I have to man, I have to get at least 3 things a day. 3 wall art a day and merch. Because because it's just there, and
Yeah,
I have a particular style, and I want to support the artists that make it because I know that they put their heart and soul into it, and supporting them it's basically everything, because I would want that same support if I was like selling something.
Definitely. What is your favorite merch? Because mine is enamel pins. I probably have now like 150, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Besides putting them on corkboard.
Right. My favorite merch would have to be journals. Don't ask me how many I have because it's embarrassing. And I don't think I've probably written in maybe 2. But yeah, journals, stickers. Now that I think about it, I should use the journals to put stickers in.
There you go. I mean, sticker books are coming back. I've seen a few, and for everyone listening that is too young to know what a sticker book is, okay, that was the thing to have. Between sticker books and Pogs, which are also coming back.
They are.
Pogs are coming back. I'm very excited about this. It could be another slippery slope for me. Now you've obviously had a lot of time to, again, I know you're still starting out, but you got a lot of work under your belt. You're still learning. Would you ever consider doing a panel in the near future? Now that you kind of have like these steps of how you went from beginning to now to kind of help other people take the same road.
Actually, I have hosted a few panels at PoochieCon, my own Discord or Zoom panel, and I'm hoping to host at more panels that are coming up. The panels that I have are focused on body positivity, and it's called Plus Ultra Sized. And I do it along with a few other cosplayers whose names I'll mention later. But we basically talk about our experiences being plus sized in the cosplay community. And basically everything that I talked about, the prices of cosplay, finding the right fit, we just go into that. And although I'm not really a public speaker, I honestly hate public speaking. But I felt that it's something that I could do for those who were in my situation, being hesitant about cosplaying because of my size. Because I've actually gotten a few messages from people who say that, you inspire me to wear this kind of clothing, to dress like this, to cosplay. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm so happy. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And some people may mistake that for promoting obesity, which is not the message.
Yeah.
It's just having fun in the body that you have while working on your body goals, because everyone has body goals, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have fun and dress up in the meantime, because it does take time and life is short. So in those panels, oh my goodness, I am so sorry.
That's all right.
I'm upside down.
There we go.
Okay.
It's all right.
Sorry about that. In those panels, we basically, like I said, we talk about our experiences, and then we hear from the audiences about their experience, provide tips and resources, and we create a community. We stay in touch on Instagram, and hopefully we'll take it farther.
Definitely. And it's crazy to me because I definitely seen a lot of panels. One of my favorites was I think it was Geeknasium. Her name is Heather Bodie on Instagram, who I met. She promotes a lot of, kind of doing like workouts to just feel better, not necessarily to change your body, just to feel better, and being just accepting of like who you are in your in your cosplay. It's all great. And it's crazy to me that like every year we have to keep doing panels of this, because I feel like at this point it should be kind of like what the speed limit is, so follow the speed limit. Same thing with it's great that you're creating resources, and it's almost mind-blowing to me that there's still people out there, like, we still can't get those resources on a bigger scale, because I feel like it is, again, it's a global thing. Like, at this point, like, it should be almost status quo, like it should be available. Do you have any idea, like, why is it taking so long? Because I feel like it's one of those things that, like, we shouldn't even have to talk about, because everyone should, like, have access to it.
Exactly. But you'd be surprised how many people are still have that old school mindset where they think that plus size bodies do not belong in society. I really wish I had the answer to that, but unfortunately, I'm still searching myself. There are independent stores um, that have tailored to the plus size community for cosplaying. Uh, they're also a little bit expensive if
Yeah.
you want to like have the full blown out cosplay. And then there's just stores like AliExpress where they'll have,
Take your chances.
yeah, you just take your chances. And I always encourage people, if you're going to buy something, just look at the size guide and measure yourself. Make sure that it's at least somewhat close. Even if you do buy from like AliExpress or something like that, there's always ways to alter it.
Yeah.
You know, if you need more room, just, you know, do an incision and space it out like that. But to answer your question, sorry.
No worries.
Honestly, don't have the answers. Whenever I see something ridiculous, like society should be at a certain point, I just say people will be people.
That unfortunately is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are still people stuck in a certain mindset, and unfortunately, it's just sad. But slowly but surely, we are getting there.
It is definitely getting better. And to hit on your AliExpress or Temu, look at the size guides. The one thing that is most helpful is if someone writes a comment with a picture, take it to heart that they are not lying to you. That is true, because I bought a backpack that I thought was going to be a cheap tactical backpack. I did not look at the dimensions again. That's on me. It was probably no bigger than about like that.
Oh my god!
And I'm a big guy. I am 6 foot, like 270. All right. It looks very funny seeing me walk down the street with a tiny little backpack.
Yeah, it looks like a handbag or
Yeah.
purse or something.
Read the comments, because I found that is extremely helpful.
Yeah, the comments, the image reviews. My my thing is that if it doesn't have an image review, I'm probably not going to trust it. You know, I have to see how something looks, how it looks on a person that's similar to my size, the color and everything. And then just take your chance on that. But like I said before, there, along with life and cosplay, there is trial and error.
Yep. Where there's a will, there is a way. There's always a use for something.
Yeah.
Now, what it sounds like is that you and a kind of a bunch of other people have really, again, you've done your research, you have panels under your belt. If it ever somewhere down the road, would you ever see yourself kind of doing your own kind of pop-up event for cosplay itself? Because it sounds like you guys have a lot of resources. And once you get those resources, you kind of build contacts within the cosplay community and retailer, like so on and so forth. Do you ever see yourself maybe doing your own type of cosplay event or even like a workshop meetup?
Yes. That is definitely the goal. I was actually speaking to one of my friends last week about hosting a party or cosplay event for Plus Ultra Size, which is the panel community that I'm part of. Just renting a space, providing food, and connecting and networking. That and just a regular plus size, well, sorry, a regular cosplay party where people can, come as their favorite character or maybe a theme. It's like one of those spacey ideas where it's up in the air, but it has to like be planned. But that is definitely something that I want to do, and do it often within the city,
Yeah.
and hopefully expand out of state as well.
Definitely. For everyone listening, for anything, what would be some things you could recommend to help the cosplay community? Because there are some now. I know, like myself, since I do go for press, I don't do cosplay anymore just because it would look weird if I'm in a Yoshi costume and be like, oh, here's my business card. I am very serious about this. It looks off, so I do wear just t-shirts with our logo. What would be tips you could recommend for those kind of people that really want to give positivity to the community, and can kind of just help people feel good, or they can help out with like, what would be tips?
I would say to number one, respect boundaries. Ask to take pictures first. I'm pretty sure every cosplayer has felt the joy or giddy about being asked for a picture, because it makes them feel, um, I guess, validated in a
Yeah,
way.
makes you feel seen.
Or
I mean,
yeah, yeah, and special. Um, and what you said before, you feel weird about handing out a business card. I actually felt the same too. One of my cosplayer friends, she has stickers, so it's not that awkward. I just say, hey, would you like a sticker?
yeah,
And it turns out other cosplayers have stickers too, so it's like a sticker trade, and that's how we connect. Um, a way to help the cosplay community is just support. Um, I guess trade resources, invite uh, people to places, and I guess network and collaborate as well. Collaboration is a big thing because, if you're doing a Disney cosplay, you might know someone else that's doing a Disney
yeah,
cosplay. And, you can team up and create a great collaboration that'll get you noticed as well. And depending on how many people are in that collaboration, that could lead you to meet new people or more cosplayers. And
definitely.
it's always just good to put yourself out there. And like I said before, set boundaries. That's a main thing. Set and respect boundaries.
Yeah. Well, it's also crazy too, because we have friends that have been in the cosplay. Ask people that that just sew, even your mom or your family or whatnot. You'd be surprised how many people that are just regular sewers are interested in sewing something unique because they're so tired of. I think it was one of my friends who, I think once a girl he had met needed like a cosplay dress, and he asked his mom like, "Hey, would you be interested in sewing this?" She's like, "I've never seen a pattern like this." Yes.
Mhm.
And she was really good at it. I mean, she had been sewing for years, so she did a great job. I know one of the things that we always try to do when I take pictures at our conventions is, if they are on Instagram, always try to ask them for their handle if they want to be tagged, because that helps them get seen. For anyone that's like, oh, I don't carry pen or pencil or paper with me, there's this magic little thing on the iPhone where you slide the picture up and you can write a note right under the picture, because that's the only way that I ever remember anyone's handles when I'm putting them on Instagram.
Right. And you just reminded me. Always, if you're being photographed by someone, always tag them. And it also helps to tag if you're getting your cosplay made or sewn, to tag their handles as well, because number one, you want to give them credit, and then it brings traffic their way as well.
Definitely. Yes, give everyone credit, help build everyone up. Networking is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
like help me help you kind of situation.
Exactly. All right. One last question before we kind of wrap everything up. Again, you put a lot of work. We kind of see where you want to go in the future with this. What are the next steps for you kind of within this field?
Within this field.
That's a tough one.
Yes, because besides having fun, where am I going? I guess mastering a specific craft, whether it's sewing or being a foam smith, or having something to do with hair. I want to master something within the cosplay field and provide services to my fellow cosplayers to help them out as well. And like I said before, with the goals for the panels, I just hope to promote body positivity in cosplay, because so many people are hesitant and they don't even consider cosplaying, or they may like think about it, but it's just something's holding them back. And I just want to be, well, now I want to be an inspiration. I wasn't thinking of being an inspiration before, but now I feel that that's what I'm meant to do.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, cosplaying has opened so many doors for me. I didn't think that I would be here, like even talking to you right now. I originally just planned on closet cosplaying in my room, taking pictures. I never thought I would be like in this situation where I meet so many great people, get introduced to so many different skills. But yeah, just if you have an idea, just have at it.
Definitely. For everyone listening that likes everything you say and they want to follow your journey and they want to kind of get involved with whatever you got planned, where is the best places to follow you?
The best places to follow me is Instagram at shakier_cosplays, and TikTok at shakier. I also have a separate account called Plus Ultra Size, which I run with fellow cosplayers Soap Cookies, a White Rabbit, Kitty Monk, and Shay Nanigan. We're basically the community organizers of Plus Ultra Size, where we host the panels. If you want to give us a shout out or share our content, you can follow us there. And I'm not really on Facebook, so I guess it's Instagram and TikTok.
All right, perfect. Well, everyone listening, we'll have her tagged in the Instagram for this kind of post. Once we make it, it'll also be up on YouTube if you're curious to instead of just hearing it, watching it play out. Thank you very much for coming on, answering our questions. We look forward to seeing what you come up with next. Everyone listening, I hope you had fun. Again, follow Shake Your Fawn at Instagram, and we will watch all your costumes. Everyone listening, have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.